This is Activity 3.1 on page 47, Applying Data Validation. The workbook that we'll be working with in this activity is titled Regional Expenses. As Finance Manager for Develotech Industries, you have been compiling the expenses for each of the regions in the business. You want to ensure the data you enter in the workbook is within the correct parameters. You decide to add data validation to several cells and ranges to prevent data entry errors. So I'm going to start by launching Excel. And from my Start menu, I'm going to select Open Other Workbooks and click my Browse button. I want to navigate to my home drive. This is Excel Part 3. And this is Lesson 3, which is titled Automating Workbook Functionality. We're going to open that folder. And again, the workbook we want is Regional Expenses. Select that and click Open. And before I make any changes to my workbook, I'm going to do a Save As, File, Save As, and save to my current folder, Automating Workbook Functionality. And I'm going to update my file name to My Regional Expenses. Click Save. Number 2 says to enable and configure the settings for data validation for Expense Reporter. You want to make sure that the North American Worksheet tab is selected, and we want to have cell B3 selected. We're going to go up to our Data tab on our ribbon, and in the Data Tools command group, we're going to select Data Validation. This opens up our Data Validation dialog box. On our Settings tab, from the Allow drop-down, we're going to select List. You want to click into the source field, and then we're going to go up to our Formulas tab of our ribbon, and in the Defined Names command group, select the Use in Formula drop-down. So remember from previous chapters in, I believe this was Excel Part 2 or Part 1 even, I don't recall, but in a previous chapter, these are just our named ranges. So we're going to select the Reported By named range. That enters into our source field. And next in number 3, we're going to configure the input message for the data validation. We're going to move over to the Input Message tab in our Data Validation dialog box. You want to make sure that Show Input Message when cell is selected is checked off. And in the title field, we're going to enter Expense Reporter. And in the input message field, we're going to type Select the person reporting the expense. Next, in number 4, we're going to configure the error alert for data validation. We want to move over to the Error Alert tab in our dialog box and make sure that Show Error Alert after invalid data is entered is checked off. And you want to make sure the Style drop-down shows Stop. The title, we're going to name this, is Reported By Error. And then our error message, we want to input, please select a user from the list. We can click OK from our dialog box. And you can see we have B3 selected, and it shows our input message, expense reporter. Select the person reporting the expense. We're going to type our first name here and press enter. And you can see it gives us the error message. Please select a user from the list, and we have the option to retry or cancel. We're going to cancel this. Number 5, apply data validation to the expense values. We're going to select the range B6 through E9. So that does not include our total row or our column headers. And from the data tab of our ribbon in our data tools group, again, we're going to select data validation to open up our dialog box. On the settings tab from the allow drop-down, we're going to select decimal. And from the data drop-down, we want to have between selected. The minimum value we're going to enter is 100. And in the max field, we're going to enter 1000. We're going to select our input message tab. We're going to uncheck show input message when cell is selected and move over to our error alert tab. And the style we want selected from our drop-down is going to be a warning. We're going to enter the title of invalid expense. Tab over to the error message field, and this is going to be enter a value between 100 and 1000. Click OK from your dialog box. And we're now going to test this data validation. We're going to select cell B3. And from our drop-down list, we're going to select Claire Gibbs. Then we're going to select cell E6, which is Q4's fixed expenses, and we're going to enter the value of 10,000 and press enter. And our warning comes up, invalid expense, enter a value between 100 and 1000. Continue, we have the option of yes, no, or cancel. We're going to select yes, and this will ignore our warning, and it still inputs the value of 10,000. In cell E7, we're going to enter 525.75, which is a decimal. Press enter, and you can see we get no warning message from here. Okay, we're going to go up to our quick access toolbar and save our updates, and we can leave this workbook open for our next activity.